David Bronstein is here, originally from Zoom Dating, the Prince of Love. Weird to say, but I grew up with you, friend, and now you're here in our studio on the Todd Shapiro Show. Thanks for joining us.
Todd, I am thrilled to be here. I can't believe I'm here. What took so long to get me here, for God's sakes?
Where do you live?
I live in Lawrence and Bathurst, but the construction is unbelievable to get over.
It's the damn potholes. That's what took so long.
Man, I couldn't take it anymore.
I'll tell you. Who knew with all the construction in the city that it's taken you 6 months to get on?
Here. I got up here another 6 months to get back home. My wife will be sending out the dogs looking for me.
Oh, man. Oy vey is right. Yes. Well, listen, man. There was this sort of little connection you had with Jay here, our co-host. And Jay said, we have an opportunity to bring David Bronstein on the show. And I said, of course. And I have to apologize. It's not like I've done a ton of research. I know you from the past. And the past was you originating basically dating with singles. Is that true? Were you the pioneer of that, David?
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I'm an actor. I'm a performer. I was working in the Catskill Mountains. I was like Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin. My partner would sing. I would do shtick in the audience. That was the deal. I met my wife up in the Catskills. It was like Dirty Dancing. And we got married, came to Toronto. My wife said, my in-laws said, they're making movies in every corner. This is the place to be. So I came here. And I was very lucky. I got an agent. I was doing shows. I was on a show called Doghouse on USA Network, a show called After Hours on CBC. Very lucky. Then my agent stopped getting me work. People would say, oh, it's so slow. It's slow. And people say, Dave, you're an American. You should be working all the time. This is where all the action is. And my agent would say, oh, but it's slow. I can't get you work. I just tell people my agent couldn't book Lassie into a kennel. So I said, I'm not going to wait to get hired. I'm not going to wait for the phone to ring. I'll produce my own shows and I'll star in them.
Good for you.
And I started my own company. And the quickest way is to buy the airtime, because when we start pitching beer companies and other companies, they have to greenlight it. They have to wait. They have to have a meeting. My personality is instant gratification. I have to have it right now. My wife considered a slot machine for hours, pulling the handle. 3 pulls, I'm out of there. I'm going to the next machine, the next table.
You're gone.
So I produced the show.
Hopefully your wife's getting instant gratification, by the way.
Oh, you are so funny. Oh, you've been talking to my wife. So
she said it's the road bump, the speed bumps. That's all the construction.
All the construction. But yes, the competitors at the time were all in the newspaper. All my competitors were in the newspaper, and I said, I'm not going to compete with price. I'm going to go on TV, and I'm going to say, talk to these girls. It's going to cost you $50. And my competitors were charging 5 cents a minute, 2 cents a minute. And people say, what, are you out of your mind? No one's going to pay $50 to talk to girls. I said, well, then they won't call. Either you're going to call or you're not going to call. And thank God they called. And they called. And the reason I would say on TV, go to the phone, call this number. What are you looking at me for? It was costing me money for the airtime. That's why.
You had to send them there.
I had that. It was all real.
Well, how brilliant is that, man? As an entrepreneur and an actor, you realize you'll use your personality, and it's very dynamic, and it's very engaging, and you're a fun guy. I mean, and you're self-deprecating, I would think. At least you seem to be on air, which was great. And then wow, people are watching you late at night. And I was one of those guys. I'm watching late at night going, okay, how do I get my dad's Visa card to go and call, like to meet some singles? Right. But really, you took that step. And it's funny how that step now in all aspects of entertainment is true to itself, where most people now have to sort of buy their own airtime, have to get their own financing into place to create themselves as a personality, whether you're a NASCAR driver or whether you're trying to produce a movie as an independent now. All these singers are going that way. They don't want to use the big EMIs or the big Universals and stuff. So, I mean, you must feel very proud about that accomplishment alone.
I was proud about the cash. Because I always had stars in my eyes to be an actor, to go to Hollywood, that whole scene. Yeah. And when we start booking airtime on TV, and I got to tell you, my business partner was named Andrew Wells, and he mortgaged his house for $40,000, and we took $20,000, we put it on television, and that $20,000 the first month got us a check for $104,000. And when I said, oh, Hollywood went out the window, yeah. And I wanted the cash.
Of course.
And we kept parlaying that, and we were spending $250,000 on TV, $250,000 a month. To call the line, call the numbers. We're running 150 times a month. They were making a lot of dough. So, yes, I was proud. Now, that's the upside. Here's the downside.
Sorry to interrupt. What year would that have been?
1995, 96, 97. Okay. The upside was all these guys were calling, and they were billing on their phone bills $40,000 a month, $20,000 a month, calling my girls, and then they weren't paying the bill. So the upside was all this dough. The downside was we were getting chargebacks. But we still made a lot of dough. And yes, I was telling my wife last week that I was doing what all these kids are doing on YouTube now. because I didn't have YouTube then, so I had to buy the airtime. I had to make myself a star on TV.
Sure.
Now all these kids are on YouTube doing what I did in 1995. So YouTube should thank me, right?
No, they definitely should thank you.
I still get recognized, and I'm amazed. How do you? Because on TV I'm wearing a suit, my hair's combed, but in the street I look like a schlep, and I still get. So I'm amazed. But no, I'm known as that guy, the pitch guy, whatever it is. And I didn't do it to do that. I just did it to get on TV, to do my Catskill jokes, to do what I do.
Yeah. And
it turned into that.
Because you always wanted to be an entertainer, but you
That's
made the
correct.
cash.
Yeah.
So, okay, David Bronstein, now I have to. So are you actually pitching on behalf of people late night still on infomercials, or do you do your own thing?
No, well, both. I shot an infomercial yesterday for a new shopping site that my partner is calling it the next Walmart type site.
Okay.
But I do my own stuff. I mean, clients come to me with products, but I'm not going to China. I'm not inventing stuff and having molds made. They all do that. It's too much for me. I need quick cash today. So it's just easy to say, what product do you have? Let me go on TV.
You'll pitch it for them. You're recognizable, people like you. So you're actually acting.
Yes, correct, yes.
Which is what you wanted to do. Now, to buy time in the infomercial world back in '95, you said that would cost about $25,000 a night or $40,000 a night or something.
Well, no, actually, then and even now, depending what time, what channel, that stuff, you can get a half hour for $200, $300 a half hour, $500 a half hour. A lot of people don't know this.
$500
a half hour,
because it's more money than they would get because they're not selling advertising in that time anyway.
That is correct. Yes.
Interesting. So there's still opportunities to get late night TV here in Canada for next to nothing, and you can do whatever you want with it. Granted, you got to follow, I would imagine, CRTC guidelines and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely correct. And the reason we were spending so much money because my shows are running 1 o'clock, 1:32, 2:33, 3:34, 4:35. Okay. We were running 150 times a week. We were buying as much as we can buy because every time we bought a show, we made money. Now we didn't necessarily get it because the guys were charging it back, but that's another story. But when we were running it, the system says, I hate to tell you what the system says. It was a great time.
By the way, I lied, and I still owe you $25,000.
Oh, you're so kind to me. Oh. Well, I'm glad I showed up.
Hey, I'm Jay Brody. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment. We read the best ones on the air.